Opening up the UFC Macau fight card, we have Maheshate taking on Nikolas Motta. Maheshate, 10-3 in his career, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off the back-and-forth win over Gabriel Benitez. He's taking on Nikolas Motta. 14-5 in his career, 2-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that bounce-back knockout win over Thomas Nolan. Maheshate still really young. He's had quite a few fights, 13 fights in his career. Decent chunk of that in the UFC.
It's crazy. It's crazy that he's 24. I feel like he's been around.
Yeah, he's only 24. And this isn't like a favela kid that lied about his age. He really is only 24. Some of these guys that start fighting at like 16, though. I mean, we've seen that a few times. But anyway, Maheshate's super young, 24 years old, plenty of experience. He's a fun striker. He likes to hang around for a firefight or be completely out of the pocket, dance around the outside, try to keep it technical. He mixes in old school traditional martial arts techniques like side kicks, maybe some flashy ones like spinning step-in elbows. If you let him dictate the pace, you could have a tough night. He can move forward. He can stay in your face. But if you get in his face and you back him up, you can have some success getting to his chin or potentially grinding him to the ground. I mentioned he's coming off that close win over Gabriel Benitez, where he was insanely hittable, and it basically just came down to he's 24 years old. So he took his beating and then delivered his own punches and ultimately got the nod. Taking on Nikolas Motta. Nikolas Motta is a pretty good striker. He's explosive, athletic, moves really well, has good speed, good diversity in those strikes. Solid takedown defense at 82%, and that gives him the comfort he needs to stand there and bang. He does a pretty good job being patient and then pouring it on when he sees an opportunity. He's coming off that early knockout win over fellow prospect Thomas Nolan. Obviously, this is in China, so there may be some homer decisions on this card. We don't come here very often, so it's really hard to tell what we're going to get as far as judging and those pieces are concerned. This may not get to the judges' scorecard, but it might, because I am going to pick Nikolas Motta here. I think Nikolas Motta he's just going to be a little faster, a little more experienced. I think he's the better striker in general, but he also can get chinned, right? He can be a little chinny from time to time on his side. I think Motta's going to win this fight. But with that being said, the reason I mentioned the judges, Maheshate is nuts durable. He's a very durable kid. So we may end up with the judges' scorecard, and then it could get tricky. But Nikolas Motta is going to be the pick, and I think the speed's going to be the difference. I think these odds are way too wide considering the matchup. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I think one of these guys is going to knock the other person out. And honestly, I think it's going to be Nikolas Motta with the knockout on Maheshate. I think the speed is there. And this dude, fucking, it is crazy how heavy his hands are. I mean, he has like 185, almost 205 power at this lightweight speed. It is absolutely crazy. He actually is very, very close to being basically 4-1 in the UFC with 4 first-round knockouts. He was obviously fucked a little bit by Trey Ogden, but I mean, he had Torres hurt. I mean, he landed a good shot a couple times on Torres. It really changed like the attitude of Torres. Like Torres was loosey-goosey. He hit him with a couple shots, and Torres like, oh my God, I got fucking locked in. Same with Jim Miller. Jim Miller, we know, is a pretty durable guy. He hit him with the right hand that really sent Jim Miller off balance. I think any other people, except for those people, might get knocked out. Obviously, the other 2 people that he found the chin, he knocked them out. And we got to listen to sometimes, Angelo, the universe is telling us something. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the universe sends us signs, right? We all watched Mike Tyson get robbed in that decision versus Jake Paul. I thought it was pretty clear that he won that fight, right? I did have money on Mike Tyson, money line, and Mike Tyson by points, but, bias aside, I thought he won that fight. We have Nikolas Motta. You have Iron Mike Tyson. We have Nikolas Iron Motta. He said he wants to be like the Mike Tyson of the UFC, basically, and he fucking fights like that, man. He is a great counter striker with that left hand, and you have this young kid, 24 years old, who already likes to get in firefights. He likes to be the pressure fighter. Now he's fighting in front of home fans in China. I think that is almost, people talk about home field advantage. I think the home field advantage is a disadvantage here. I think he's going to be way too wired up, come in a little bit too fast and heavy, and Motta's going to be there. He's got fucking heavy-ass hands. So I'm going Motta here, my Brazilian brother, to get it done, Bubba.
Yeah, I mean, I picked him too. I get that he can knock out Maheshate. He hits like a freight train. But Mahechate's tough. We've seen him take wild beatings.
He got knocked down 3 times by a pillow-fisted fucking Slava.
Rafa Garcia beat the piss out of him too, and he didn't go anywhere.
He got knocked down and put out by fucking Slava.
Anyway, I do. We're both on the same side here. The round line can be tricky. I think it's a 1.5 round line, so the over could be nice as well. $8,700 in DraftKings Fantasy. All right, I'm kicking this nerd out. Fucking crybaby bitch. $8,700 in DraftKings Fantasy for Maheshate. You're going to need a whole lot out of Maheshate here, which you might get because Nikolas can get hit. But I think the $7,500 on Nikolas Motta makes a lot more sense. He's way, way faster. He hits really hard. He can certainly be worth that money. $7,500 on that side.
This kid at 18 years old left his family to train with Aldo in Brazil. Then he was training with Frankie Edgar for a while. He was at Glover's camp for a while. Now at Extreme Couture. This kid fucking wants it.
There you go. If you want to unlock all the picks, the bets, the tools, the round line leans, and more, you can do so now. It's only $10 for an entire month. That will include UFC Tampa, UFC 310, UFC China. We want picks. Click Become a Member at the top. You'll unlock everything instantly.